In my previous life, my mother was perpetually ill, often confined to her bed for weeks at a time. My father couldn't tolerate her sickness. He would take what little money we had and gamble it away, and on the nights he lost, he would return home to unleash his frustration on both of us. My childhood was a frantic effort to earn enough money to cover her medical treatments. Then, on a day when she finally seemed to be showing a glimmer of improvement, she suddenly collapsed. I wept and pleaded with my aunt, a woman who had built a reputation as a miracle worker to save my mother. But when I arrived at her doorstep, she wouldn't even allow me inside. She stood in the entryway of her newly built house, looking down at me with an expression of pure contempt. "You're nothing but bad luck," she sneered. "Your mother was destined to die young, and it's a complete waste of money to try and save her. Don't you dare step inside and ruin my new imported carpet." A few days after that, my mother passed away. While I was numbly making arrangements for her funeral, I was so lost in a fog of grief that I misstepped and fell from a cliff, ending my own life. It was only after my death that the full, horrifying truth was revealed to me. My aunt had placed a sickness-transferring curse on my mother. The reason her patients recovered so astonishingly fast was that every one of their ailments was being magically passed on to my mom. My mother withered away in bed while the person responsible was being celebrated as a miraculous healer, accumulating wealth and building a small fortune. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself back in time, before my aunt had even begun her supposed healing practice. "Amelia, wake up." I groggily sat up, my eyes focusing on a youthful face peering down at me. I jolted upright instantly and completely awake. It was my mother, but she was young again, vibrant and healthy. I had been reborn. I was back in a time when my mother was still whole. Without thinking, I threw my arms around her, pulling her into a tight hug and looking her over from head to toe. "Mom, are you all right? You don't feel sick anywhere, do you?" My mother smiled and gently tousled my hair. "You silly girl, you must still be dreaming. I'm perfectly fine. I spent all day yesterday in the fields, harvesting wheat. As soon as we sell it, I'm going to buy you that new dress you've been wanting." She wasn't sick yet. I let out a silent, shaky sigh of relief, but then my gaze fell upon a bottle of milk sitting on the kitchen table. A cold dread washed over me as a memory surfaced. In my last life, my mother's illness began right after she drank a bottle of milk my aunt had given her. That was the start of everything. I pointed at the bottle, my voice trembling slightly. "What is that? Did Aunt Diane bring it over? Did you drink any of it?" My mother laughed. "You're like a little mind reader. Your aunt just stopped by with a bottle of milk. She said she bought it for me in the city, but I know how much you enjoy it, so I was saving it for you. Oh, and she told me she learned some new healing techniques in the city. Some old master taught her everything he knew. She's going to become a doctor now." I barely registered her last words. After confirming that the milk on the table was untouched, I finally exhaled a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. Thank God, there was still time to change things. In my previous life, my mother drank the milk my aunt brought, and with it, she ingested the curse that bound her to the sickness transfer. My aunt Diane then declared herself a miracle doctor and began treating people from all over the region. The astonishing thing was that anyone she treated, as long as they drank her special concoction, was cured almost instantly. In reality, she was using a dark curse to channel all their illnesses directly into my mother's body. My aunt's fame grew exponentially. People from neighboring states traveled to see her, and her fees became increasingly exorbitant. She made a fortune, enough to build the first modern two-story house in our entire village. All the while, my mother's health steadily declined, until she was too weak to even leave her bed. My father began to complain endlessly that she was a useless burden, just a drain on our money. He showed no concern for her well-being. He'd take his paycheck straight to the gambling dens, and when he inevitably lost, he would come home and take his anger out on us. I remember there was a brief period when my aunt's family took a trip overseas, and during that time, my mother's health actually began to improve slightly. But soon after their return, she took on a new patient, a man with a severe congenital heart defect. The man's heart was failing. He was so weak he had to be carried into her house. But he was wealthy. He promised that if my aunt could cure him, Money would be no object. My aunt agreed without a moment's hesitation. From that day forward, my aunt's wealth grew even more, and my mother's health plummeted. I was so terrified of losing her that I knelt on the ground in front of that brand new house and begged my aunt to save her. She was a miracle doctor, after all. If she could cure everyone else, surely she could cure my mother. But my aunt wouldn't even open the door properly. She peered down at me with undisguised disgust. What terrible luck! Your mother is fated to die an early death. It would be a waste of money. Don't you dare come inside and track dirt on my new imported carpet. That night, my mother died. While I was making the funeral arrangements, I was in such a state of shock that I fell from a cliff and died as well. It was only in death that I learned the terrible secret. Now that I have been given a second chance, there is no way I would ever allow my mother's tragedy to happen all over again. I picked up the bottle of milk and looked up at my mother. Mom, I remember you make the most delicious steamed buns. Why don't we use this milk to make some, and we can take them over to Aunt Diane as a thank you? My mother gave me a slightly puzzled look. You're my little milk lover. Weren't you always asking for milk before? Why don't you want to drink it today? Because I love you more than I love milk, but I couldn't tell her the truth just yet. It was the 1990s. A story about curses and rebirth was too fantastical. I was afraid she wouldn't believe me, and worse, that I might inadvertently alert my aunt. I had to explain it carefully. Mom, I don't really like the taste of milk that much anymore, so let's just give it back to Aunt Diane. If we just return the bottle, she might feel offended. But if we make her some special milk-flavored steamed buns, I bet she'll be thrilled. My mother nodded, her face filled with warm approval. My Amelia's growing up. You're such a thoughtful and good girl. I'll listen to you. I'll go prepare the dough right now. Soon, a batch of large, fluffy steamed buns was ready, and I excitedly carried them over to my aunt's house. When I arrived, I saw she already had a sign prepared that read, Miracle Healer. It seemed she was on the verge of opening for business. I handed her the basket of buns. Aunt Diane, my mom made these especially for you. They're very tasty. You should try one. When my aunt saw me, her eyes darted around for a moment before she broke into a wide, forced grin. Amelia, did your mother drink the milk I gave her? I nodded with great enthusiasm. Yep, she drank every last drop. She made these buns to thank you and sent me to bring them over. Hearing this, my aunt's smile became even broader. She patted her Miracle Healer sign. That's wonderful. Now I'm truly going to make a fortune. With that, she eagerly began to devour one of the buns. I watched her eat the entire thing before a sense of grim satisfaction settled in my stomach. Aunt Diane, I hope all your wishes come true. My aunt smiled, looking completely content. With your mother around, I'm sure they will. Her sign went up just a few days later. At first, my mother was worried. Your aunt never studied medicine. How can she start treating people after just a few days in the city? What if something goes wrong? I pulled her down to sit on a low stool. Mom, let's not worry about other people's affairs. Why don't you help me with my homework instead? It didn't take long for someone to actually show up seeking treatment. I peeked through our window to watch the scene unfold. It was a young woman, her face mostly hidden by a scarf, but you could tell from her eyes that she was quite beautiful. My aunt asked what was wrong. The woman stammered, unable to bring herself to say the words clearly. I have that kind of problem. It's incredibly itchy. I contracted it from another man, but my husband is unaware, and I'm too frightened to go to a real hospital. Can you help me? A cold shiver ran down my spine. In my previous life, the very first illness transferred to my mother was this woman's severe gynecological infection. I remember my mother was tormented by the itching, and when my father found out, he whipped her with his belt. He screamed that since he wasn't sick, she must have caught it by fooling around with some other man. That night, my father's face was a mask of terrifying fury. I was afraid he might actually kill my mother, so I clung to his leg, begging him to stop and take her to a doctor. But he just kicked me away and snarled that for all he knew, I was some other man's bastard child too. My mother shielded me with her own body and endured the beating all night. She was covered in bruises, and from that day on, every time it rained, her bones would ache with a deep, throbbing pain. Just the memory of it made my blood boil with rage. My aunt's voice pulled me back to the present. She sounded utterly confident. I understand. Don't you worry at all. I can cure anything here. She produced a bowl of a dark, murky liquid and handed it to the woman. Drink this. Once you do, all your troubles will be gone. The woman was understandably skeptical. Are you a fraud? I've tried so many folk remedies and nothing has worked. You think one bowl of this strange liquid will cure me? The woman stood up, ready to leave, but I rushed out and hugged her legs. Ma'am, please don't go. My aunt's medicine really works. Since you can't find help anywhere else, you might as well give this a try. My aunt quickly chimed in. Yes, my niece is right. Just try it. I promise there's nothing wrong with my medicine. It's a guaranteed cure. The woman considered it for a few seconds and decided we had a point. She took the bowl and drank the entire contents in one go. My aunt watched her, her face a mask of eager expectation. How do you feel? The woman shifted her body a bit, and then her brow unfurrowed in surprise. Hey, it actually stopped itching. This stuff is incredible. I just drank it, and I feel better already. My aunt finally let out a huge sigh of relief. See, I told you, this is a miracle cure. It can fix any illness. I snuck a glance at my aunt. She was unconsciously squeezing her thighs together, a look of discomfort flashing across her face. The next second, the woman pulled a thick wad of cash from her purse and handed it to my aunt. You are an amazing doctor. This is for you. The moment she saw the money, my aunt's face lit up in a huge smile, the discomfort in her body instantly forgotten. I looked up at the woman with a naive expression. Ma'am, my aunt is incredible. You have to tell everyone about her so more sick people can get her help. The woman crouched down and pinched my cheek. You're a clever one, aren't you? Already drumming up business for your aunt. The woman walked away, swinging her purse happily. After she left, my aunt shot me a sidelong glance. You little brat, what are you up to, trying to get me more business? What scheme are you plotting? I shook my head like a bobblehead doll. No, that's not it. Mom said if you make a lot of money, you'll buy us milk, and I want you to make lots and lots of money. My aunt suddenly laughed and put her hands on my shoulders. Good girl, Amelia. In that case, you keep spreading the word for me. Help your aunt get even richer. When I got home, my mother was still mending a pair of pants. She'd been wearing them for as long as I could remember. The knees were so worn that she had patched them over and over until there were patches on top of patches. Just then, my father came home. Seeing my biological father again, I still felt a surge of pure, unadulterated hatred. In my past life, not only did he refuse to get my mother medical help and gamble away all our money, but he even started an affair with the village widow while my mom was sick. When my mother was on her deathbed, he and the widow came to visit. Just die already so we can have the place to ourselves, they had said to her. He walked in now, plopped down on the sofa, crossed his legs, and showed off a new imported watch on his wrist as he ordered my mom around. Hey, get me a glass of water. I'm dying of thirst. My mom started to get up, but I blocked her path and faced my father with a serious expression. If you want water, you can get it yourself. If you want mom to help you, you should be polite. My kindergarten teacher taught us that. You're a grown-up. Don't you know that by now? My father's face contorted with anger, and he shoved me to the floor, pointing a finger at me and cursing, You little brat, you dare tell me what to do? This is my house. You all do what I say when I say it. My mom rushed over and pulled me into her arms. Mark, are you crazy? Amelia is just a child. Why would you push her like that? My father spat in our direction. Useless woman, can't even give me a son. You say one more word and I'll strangle her in her sleep tonight. Then I can try again for a boy. My mom fell silent. She knew my father was a monster. He was capable of anything, especially when he'd been drinking. But I stared right at him and said, word by word, unless you kill me right now, you're going to get old one day. And when you do, I'll be the only one in charge of you. I'll put you in the worst nursing home, where you'll eat leftovers that dogs wouldn't even touch. I'll have the nurses slap you every single day so you'll know what it really feels like to be alive but wish you were dead. I think my expression must have been terrifying at that moment because I saw a flash of genuine fear in my father's eyes. He shot to his feet and muttered, "Son of a bitch, you think I'm scared of you." But the next second, he emptied the money from a drawer and ran out without looking back. After he left, my mom held me and cried, "Amelia, don't scare me like that. It's my fault. I didn't protect you." I wiped away her tears with my small hand and asked softly, "Mom, do you really want to spend the rest of your life with a scumbag like that?" My mom froze. "What do you mean?" My voice was firm. "Have you ever thought about divorcing him?" My mom shook her head instinctively. "Divorce? People would laugh at me. Besides, I don't know how to do anything. If I divorce him, how would I support you and me?" I sighed. "Mom, you're the best cook in the entire village. Even the uncle who came back from the big city said your cooking is better than the chefs at the city restaurants. When you're with Dad, he just gambles away all the money you manage to earn. I know you want me to have a complete family, but this kind of environment is only making things worse for me. More importantly, Mom, I want you to be your own person again. I don't want people to only know you as Amelia's mom or Mark's wife. Your name is Helen. I want everyone to know you have your own name." My mom looked down, silent for a long time before she started to sob quietly. "But your father, he'll never agree to a divorce." I squeezed her hand, giving it a little pressure. "Don't worry, I'll make him agree." Before long, more and more people were coming to see my aunt for treatment. Some had common colds and fevers. Others had more serious chronic illnesses. Without exception, after drinking my aunt's medicine, all of them were cured. My aunt's reputation soared. For 100 miles around, everyone knew there was a famous miracle doctor in our village. Just one dose of her medicine, and all your aches and pains would disappear. My aunt was making a fortune. She even built the first modern two-story house in the village. The day the house was finished, my mom took me to see the excitement. The disgust in my aunt's eyes was overflowing. "Go on, get out of here. We can't have any old riffraff hanging around. What if you get my imported carpet dirty? Could you even afford to replace it?" My aunt was dressed stylishly, but I could still see that she looked awful. The illnesses of all her patients were transferring to her. But she never paid it any mind. She was so busy seeing patients and making money day in and day out that she never had a spare moment to notice her own health. I didn't say anything. I just took my mom's hand and went home. But unexpectedly, a few days later, my aunt stormed over to our house. She pounded on the door, and I knew this was bad. I quickly had my mom lie down in bed and smudged some soot from a pot on her face to make her look sick. Only then did I feel a little better. My mom was confused, but I couldn't explain much. I just told her to follow my lead. Thankfully, she didn't question me. As soon as my aunt came in, I could see she looked even worse. She was out of breath after just a few steps. She demanded, "Where's your mother? Where is she?" I immediately squeezed out a few tears and looked at her pitifully. "Aunt Diane, my mom's sick. She's really, really sick. She can't even get out of bed. You came at the right time. Could you lend us some money so we can take her to a doctor?" My aunt stared at me suspiciously for a moment. "Your mom's really sick?" I nodded. She still wasn't convinced. She kicked open my mom's bedroom door. When she saw my mom lying weakly in bed, looking pale and awful, she finally seemed satisfied. She broke into a smile. "Looks like she really is sick. My little treasure works perfectly." I pretended not to understand. "Aunt Diane, can you lend us money for the doctor?" My aunt clicked her tongue impatiently. "Where would I get money to lend you? It's all up to fate. If your mom is meant to die, then that's just her lot in life." With that, she turned and left without a second glance. My aunt had just left when my dad returned. I pointed at my mom in bed and continued my act, crying to my dad, "Dad, mom's sick. Please stop gambling." My dad took one look at my mom and jumped back in shock. "Oh my God, how did she get this sick? This is going to cost a fortune to treat. I don't have that kind of money. This is such bad luck." Now there's another mouth to feed that doesn't do anything. How am I supposed to support everyone? I looked down, saying nothing. I already knew my dad would never pay for my mom's treatment. I just wanted him to see with his own eyes that there was no more money to be squeezed out of her. Ever since she found out my mom was sick, my aunt felt even more secure. As long as the price was right, she'd take on any case. Then, one day, a man was carried into my aunt's yard. His face was frighteningly pale. You could tell he didn't have long to live. His family knelt at my aunt's feet. "Miracle doctor, my son has a congenital heart defect. We've seen every doctor. We've even been abroad several times, but they all say he has less than 3 months to live. We heard you're a miracle worker, that you can cure any disease. I'm begging you, please save my son. Money is no object." She pulled out a thick stack of cash and offered it to my aunt with trembling hands. "This is a deposit. If you can cure my son, there will be a much larger reward." I gritted my teeth as I spied on my aunt's reaction. In my last life, she transferred this man's heart condition to my mom, which ended up killing her. As expected, when my aunt saw the money, her eyes lit up. The next second, she spotted me watching from the side. She yanked me out from my hiding spot. "You damn brat, what are you doing skulking around over here?" I shrank back, pretending to be scared. "Aunt Diane, my mom is getting sicker. I came to ask you again to borrow money for her treatment. I can't lose my mom, don't you remember? That one night you had a high fever. It was my mom who carried you all the way to the hospital. The doctor said if you'd come any later, you would have been in real danger." My aunt slapped me across the face, cutting me off. "Shut your mouth, you little pest. So your mom took me to the hospital once. Am I supposed to be eternally grateful? Besides, she's about to die anyway. It would be a waste of money. Why should I waste my money on someone who's already a lost cause?" My words seemed to have thoroughly enraged her. She took the deposit and eagerly agreed to help the man. "No problem. After he drinks my medicine, he'll be good as new." My aunt brought a bowl of medicine for the man. After glaring at me one last time, she watched as he drank it all down. Almost instantly, the color returned to the man's face. He tentatively stood up, then jumped a couple of times, realizing his body truly felt normal again. He exclaimed, "Oh my God, you really are a miracle doctor. I'm cured." His mother burst into tears of joy. "A miracle! A true miracle! My son is finally healthy." She excitedly reached for her wallet to pay my aunt, but in the next moment, my aunt suddenly fainted and collapsed. Seeing this, I raced home and told my mom to keep pretending to be sick. Then I went to the casino and found my dad. He was in the middle of a hot streak and kicked me to the ground when he saw me. "Get lost! You're bad luck, you little brat. I'll kill you." I clung to his leg, wailing, "Dad, Mom's even sicker now. Please stop gambling. Please save some money to help her." My dad was extremely annoyed. "If she's going to die, then she should just die already. Just don't do it in my house. It's bad luck." I looked at him with a pitiful expression. "Dad, you're not going to divorce Mama, are you? You can't leave us." My dad slapped his forehead. "You just gave me an idea, you little brat. I'm going to divorce that sickly woman right now. I can't wait until she actually dies. She must be the one bringing me all this bad luck." I knew there had to be a reason I was losing every hand. My dad rushed home, dragged my mom out of bed, and took her straight to the courthouse to file for divorce. The moment the divorce papers were finalized, my mom looked like a huge weight had been lifted off her shoulders. She hugged me tightly. "Amelia, thank you. We're finally free. From now on, Mommy will work hard and earn money to send you to the best schools. A girl has to get her education." I nodded. I had finally cleared away the obstacles. A wonderful future for me and my mom was within reach. We hurried home, packed a few things, and left that village behind. On the road, I told her the whole story. I thought she wouldn't believe me, but she just held me tighter. "My poor Amelia, you must have suffered so much to come back and save me." "How could it be suffering? For you, 1,000 times over." My mom and I moved to the city. She used the money she had secretly saved up to enroll me in a good school and rented a small one-room house nearby so she could be with me. To better take care of me, she set up a small cart at the school gate and started selling egg crepes. My mom was a fantastic cook and always used the freshest ingredients. Her egg crepes were the most fragrant and delicious around. Before long, there was a long line in front of her cart every single day. After school, I started helping her out. Some of the other kids would make fun of me. Amelia, what's the point of being first in every test? Your mom just sells egg crepes. That's so lame, nya nya nya. My mom would always feel so embarrassed she couldn't look up. She felt like she was letting me down, but I would always stand up for her, hands on my hips. Yeah, my mom sells egg crepes. Your family is so rich, but you still can't beat me in school. Besides, can your mom make egg crepes this delicious? Aren't you ashamed of yourself? The naughty little boy would always run off after I told him off. I would take my mom's hand and say to the people in line, "My mom makes the best egg crepes. If you want one, you can pre-order with me and then you won't have to wait in line." The kids loved that idea. Every day they'd pre-order their egg crepes from me and I'd give the numbers to my mom. That way she could prepare in advance and not waste any ingredients. My mom and I were tired but happy. She always told me, "Amelia, as long as I'm with you, I feel so happy. Life has a purpose." I would tell her that I'd study hard, get into a good university, and then we'd move to a big city and live together forever. My mom would always laugh and tease me. In that case, I'll set up my cart right outside your university and sell egg crepes there. Life went on like that, happily and peacefully for 2 months. Until one day when I walked out of school, I saw someone arguing with my mom at her cart. When I got closer, I saw it was my Aunt Diane. I hadn't seen her in a while, and she looked like she had aged 20 years. Her hair was gray, her face was as white as a sheet, and she was leaning heavily on a cane. Standing next to my mom, they looked like they were from two different generations. When she saw my mom looking healthy and rosy-cheeked, she immediately understood. "You've been lying to me this whole time, haven't you? You were never sick." My mom just smiled. "I had a few colds, sure, but I got over them a long time ago." My aunt's eyes were like a poisonous snake coiling around my mother. "You know what I'm talking about? You knew all along, didn't you?" Seeing this, my mom dropped the act. "Are you talking about the curse you tried to put on me?" "Yes, I know all about it. Remember those steamed buns I had Amelia bring you? I made them with the milk you gave me. You ate all of them, didn't you? Weren't they good?" Hearing this, my aunt's frail body swayed. "You bitch! This is all your fault. You did this to me. You were the one who was supposed to die." She started shouting at the crowd that had gathered. "Everyone come and see. This woman is a psychopath. She put a curse on me and made me like this. How can you eat anything she makes?" The crowd was shocked. Some people even started yelling at my mom. "How can someone like her have a stall outside a school? What if she hurts the kids? Get rid of her. And her daughter should be kicked out of the school too." I was about to step forward and chase my aunt away, but my mom gave me a slight shake of her head. I knew this was between her and my aunt. She wanted to handle it herself. My mom's voice was sharp and severe. "Diane, you know exactly what the truth is. You secretly bought a curse and tried to trick me into drinking it. Also, you could transfer your patient's illnesses to me, right? All we did was see through your plan and return the gift you gave me. Why are you so upset?" My aunt's face turned pale. My mom continued, "Why don't we call the police? Let them investigate where you bought that curse to harm people." As soon as she said that, someone in the crowd shouted, "I know this woman. My brother was cured by her after drinking one bowl of her medicine. I always thought it was weird how a dozen hospitals couldn't fix him. Maybe it really was some kind of curse." "Nobody leave. I'm calling the cops." The police arrived quickly. After getting a brief summary of the situation, they took both my mom and my aunt to the station. I went along with them. Faced with so many police officers, my aunt was so scared she could barely sit still. "Officers, please don't listen to her lies. I'm just a simple country woman. What would I know about curses? She's framing me. You should arrest her." One of the officers snorted. "Let me tell you something. We've been tracking an old man from the Meow region who's been illegally selling these curses. And you just walked right into our hands. Now start talking. Looking at you, I'd say your sickness has something to do with a curse, too. Don't you want to catch the guy who sold it so you can get treated?" As soon as my aunt heard that, she perked up and told them the whole story. Back in the village, she had always been jealous of my mom for being prettier and more capable. She was even jealous that my mom's dowry had been $10 more than hers. Later, she heard from a distant relative that there was an old man in the city who sold curses of all kinds. An idea sparked in my aunt's mind, and she scraped together enough money to make a trip to the city. She was immediately drawn to the sickness transferring curse the old man was selling. She figured she could transfer all the illnesses to my mom and make a profit at the same time. It was a foolproof plan, but she never expected that once she actually started treating people, the more patients she saw, the worse her own health became. She suspected that the curse hadn't worked on my mom, but every time she went to our house, she saw my mom sick in bed, which put her doubts to rest. It wasn't until she took on the patient with the heart condition that she fainted on the spot. When she woke up, she found her legs were weak and she couldn't breathe properly. She wanted to confront my mom again, but she discovered that my dad had divorced my mom and my mom was long gone. She spent all her money, even sold her new house, but couldn't find a cure for her illness. Eventually, she heard that my mom was selling egg crepes here, and that's how she found us. She sobbed, gasping for air. It was her, wasn't it? She's the one who did this to me. If she hadn't switched the curse back to me, I wouldn't be like this. The lead police officer couldn't listen anymore and yelled, "If you hadn't had the evil idea to harm someone in the first place, you wouldn't have ended up like this. Did she deserve to be harmed and killed by you?" The officer's words were powerful. My aunt froze, then burst into even louder sobs. "I don't care. I told you everything. You have to arrest that old man who sells curses. He's the only one who can save me." Using the information my aunt provided, the police quickly located and arrested the old man in the suburbs. When my aunt got the news, she hobbled to the hospital as fast as she could. She raised her cane and started hitting the old man with it. "It's all your fault. What kind of useless curse did you sell me? You've ruined my life. You have to fix me." The old man was terrified. "I told you when you bought it, there's no antidote for this kind of curse. Weren't you going to use it on your sister-in-law? How did you end up like this?" My aunt was in disbelief. "Are you saying there's no hope for me?" The old man shrank back and nodded. "There's no cure. Looking at you, you probably have less than a month to live." In that moment, my aunt's world collapsed. She slumped to the floor and began to wail. "You murderer! You've killed me! You owe me my life! You owe me!" No one paid her any more attention. Everyone just stared coldly at the wicked woman who had brought this upon herself. After the situation with my aunt was resolved, my mom went back to selling egg crepes at the school gate. But for some reason, maybe because of what happened, business wasn't as good as before. I knew she was worried, but she always tried to reassure me. "Don't worry, Amelia. Mommy's egg crepes are so delicious. Of course people will buy them." Then one day, a man who looked like a business owner approached my mom. "How many of these egg crepes can you make in a day?" My mom immediately sensed an opportunity. "Normally, I can make about 500. If you need more, I can work through the night." The man nodded. "I've been watching you for a while. Your crepes are very good, and you use quality ingredients. I was wondering if you'd like to work in our school cafeteria. The environment is better, and you won't have to deal with the wind and sun." My mom's eyes lit up. "Would I have to pay a stall fee? I don't have that much money right now." The man waved his hand. "Don't worry about it. Our school is new, so the fees are cheap. You can just pay me back as you earn. Your food is clean and hygienic. I'm just trying to do what's best for the students." And just like that, my mom started selling her egg crepes in the school cafeteria. It was just as the man had said. My mom's crepes were in high demand every day. Some students even transferred to the school just for her food. Within 6 months, my mom had paid off all the fees and even saved up a good amount of money. To make it easier to take care of me, she transferred me to the school where she worked. To reward her for bringing in new students, the owner waived all of my tuition and fees. We rented a new apartment, this time a 2-bedroom with its own kitchen and bathroom. At night, she would sit under the lamp and count her money. "Look, Amelia, Mommy has earned so much money. From now on, no matter where you go, Mommy will have the means to be with you." But peaceful days are always at risk of being shattered. One evening, my mom and I were walking home together. Just as we reached our door, someone jumped out and scared us half to death. When we looked closer, we saw it was my deadbeat dad. He grinned at my mom like a total lowlife. "Honey, you're all better, huh? I hear you're making big money now. You're really something. My mom tried to shoo him away. That has nothing to do with you. Don't forget we're divorced. My dad blocked the doorway. You can't say that. We were married for a long time. For old time's sake, you can't just forget about me. My mom knew this guy wouldn't be easy to get rid of. What do you want? She asked coldly. My dad laughed. Well, my luck hasn't been so great lately. I lost a little money and was hoping you could help me out. My mom refused flatly. I don't have any money. I just sell egg crepes. Where would I get money? My dad was shameless. Don't play dumb with me. I've asked around. Your stall is the most popular one in that whole school. You make hundreds of dollars a day. Don't tell me you don't have money. Just give it to me and cut the crap. His eyes darted over to me. Amelia's gotten so big. If you don't give me the money, I'll sell her off as a child bride. She's my daughter after all. I can do whatever I want with her. My mom knew that giving money to a gambler was like pouring it into a black hole. If she gave him money once, he'd be back again and again. But for now, she had to stall him. I don't have any cash on me. It's all in the bank. How about this? I'll go to the bank tomorrow, get the money, and you can come back then. My dad reached out and pinched my cheek, threatening us. Get 30,000 ready. I'll be back tomorrow at this time to pick it up. If you try any tricks, I'll make sure you never see your daughter again. After he left, my mom unlocked the door with trembling hands and collapsed onto the sofa. She gritted her teeth in hatred. That scumbag! He's a monster. You're his own daughter. How could he do this to you? He must be in deep with some loan sharks, I said calmly. They're probably putting the squeeze on him. Mom, maybe we can find the people he owes money to. Let them deal with him. It was like a light bulb went off for my mom. She immediately called the school owner for help. He agreed without hesitation, telling us not to worry and that he would handle it. He said he wasn't about to let his most popular cafeteria lady and his top-scoring student be ruined by some scumbag. Soon, the owner called back with news. My dad really did owe $20,000 to an underground casino. They were after him for the money and had told him that if he didn't pay up by tomorrow, they would break both his legs. As it happened, the owner knew the people at the casino. He called in a favor, telling them to take my dad tomorrow and leave us alone. The other party was reasonable. We're not thugs. We don't go after women and children. All we want is Mark. With everything settled, all we had to do was wait for my dad to show up. The next afternoon, my dad knocked on the door right on time. My dear wife, my sweet Amelia, is the money ready? If not, Daddy's going to have to sell you to some old bachelor. The next second, he pushed the door open and saw the group of men inside. His legs went weak. Boss, I was just coming to get the money. That woman is my wife. She's got money. You can get it from her. The bald man in the lead slapped my dad hard across the face. Are you even a man, making your wife and child pay for your gambling debts? Have you no shame? My dad started crying. But I really don't have any money. I lost it all at your casino. The bald man patted my dad's cheek. No money is fine. Just remember what we said before. You owe me 2 legs. He waved his hand. Take him away. Don't scare the little girl. My dad was terrified. He cried and clung to my mom's leg. Honey, save me. They're really going to break my legs. I'm still Amelia's father. You can't just watch me die. My mom looked away. So now you remember Amelia is your daughter? Weren't you about to sell her to some old man? You didn't seem to remember she was your daughter then. The bald man was losing his patience. He kicked my dad's knee. There was a sickening crack, followed by a scream that could have shattered glass. I don't know what happened after that. I just vaguely heard the owner calling my mom later, telling her that the situation with my dad was resolved. His legs were broken, and he wouldn't be able to bother us anymore. My mom and I had finally cleared away every last obstacle. I focused on my studies, and she focused on her egg crepes. I was always first in my class in every exam, and my mom's stall was always the model stall in the cafeteria. Later, my mom managed to buy a 2-bedroom apartment near the school. We finally had our own home in the city. Over the years, many people tried to set my mom up with someone, but she refused every time. You don't die from being single. I'm not about to put up with some stinking man's attitude ever again. When it was time for college entrance exams, I got into a top university in Beijing, just as I'd hoped. Before I left for school, I asked my mom to come with me. But this time, she didn't want to. She secretly showed me a set of car keys. I was shocked. Mom, when did you buy a car? My mom smiled mysteriously. I bought an RV right after you finished your exams. I've got it all planned out. When you're at university, I'm going to travel. I'll go wherever I want. When I'm done exploring, I'll come find your school and sell egg crepes at the gate. I laughed, and then the tears started to fall. My mother was finally going to live her own life, free and happy.